Hey guys, it's PM Mathis, your global indie author distributor, and I hope that you're having a great afternoon. Okay, so this one is called Getting What You Did Not Ask For, Creating Faith, right? So, first and foremost, I started out backwards, but here's what I want to remind you of. You know that I go live 3 times a week on Wednesday, Friday, Sunday on Facebook Live and YouTube, right? I want to remind you that you can always leave questions and comments in the comment section, and I will get back with you. I want to remind you, um, YouTube, I want to be able to travel with you. So I need my numbers up. So if you like the content, if these lives have done anything for you, hey Lisa, and if they mean anything to you, go out there and subscribe to my YouTube page, which is under Pamela PM Mathis, right? Because sharing is caring, right? Okay. So I want to tell you who I am and why I do what I do, right? So how do I force myself to keep believing when I don't see what I want to have realized in my life? Or when I get something on this road to try to create a better platform, a better me, better version of me, what do I do when I don't see, oh, excuse me, or when I get something that wasn't on the path in my thought process? Hey, Susan, how does Pam handle that? Well, here's my simple answer. I take away the lesson, right? I know that if I'm walking through something, God has a bigger plan, and my vision is limited, right? I can't see all of what the future is going to hold or what it entails for me. So I am grateful that I can walk out the lesson. I'm grateful for the little bump in the road that says, "Okay, Pam, it's time for you to readjust, to get the mind um, open for something bigger." Because here's the thing, I really think a lot of times when we imagine ourselves doing something great, it's really on a small scale, right? And sometimes if you're afraid of that, which sometimes I am, because I think, okay, so how am I going to create? Okay, I might be able to create this whole big space, but how can I lead? How can I guide? How can I make sure my life lines up with what I'm speaking to other people? I mean, that's a really big, huge concern for me. And how does the criticism play all into that? How does somebody asking me a question of who do you think you are and how do you think that you're qualified to speak to those things? How's that going to trip me up? So when I find that there are bumps in the road, I have to look at what fear I'm holding, because you know that there are fears that we all hold based on um, what our past told us, based on who was not there, based on what we allow people to tell us. Now, don't get me wrong. Nobody's telling me, "Hey, Pam, you can't get this, that, and the other done." I mean, I have had questions about what is that going to look like for me and how do I plan to get there. And I can't tell you that I've always had an answer for that. But what I do know is that as long as I can keep plugging along, as long as I can keep believing and standing firm, and you know what, writing out the vision, making the vision plain, making it plain enough to myself to say, hey, okay, so this is greater and bigger than you. And you know it's a great plan when it's bigger than you and you can't get all of it done. It's going to take people jumping on board with you, right? People co signing in the thought process of, you know what? Yes, I think you can get this done. And in whatever piece that you play in that, I mean, just you showing up on the live video with me, is such an encouragement. So I appreciate that, like I can't even express. But I'm also creating the blueprint for other people. So I have to really think through a lot of things. And that's not always easy because sometimes focus gets thrown off and your girl can be easily distracted. Okay. So I want you to take away from this live today how to evaluate your expectations, right? How do you look at your life and decide whether something is working or not? How do you look at your life and say, okay, I need to really settle down, get my thoughts in order, get the plan together, get people on board and make this thing happen. Because we all know that in the startup it's gonna be slow and it's gonna be a lot lonely, but hold on to what you're expecting to see the outcome. Now we don't put our expectations in people, right? That's not what I'm telling you. You put your expectations in the one who created you. You put your expectations in the one who gave you the purpose, the dream, and the reality of seeing all those things in the past that you didn't know how they were going to work out come to pass. That's who I'm telling you to put your trust, your hope, and your expectations in, because putting your expectations in man, you will get let down and it will stop you along the way. So evaluate your expectations. Even in yourself, you have to be, you have to even sometimes not even trust yourself, because if you tell yourself, I don't have the ability to accomplish that, well, then you're not going to get anything done. But if you know it's outside of your hands and you know that God will enable you and He will have what is necessary because He puts this in front of you, then you'll get it done. He will walk those steps out for you. Because even it's sometimes I'm so at awe sometimes with the things that I have walked through and some of the things that God has spoken to me. I didn't even know how they were going to relate to any parts of my life. But as I am creating, as I am listening, as I am searching to create a platform, I see how those things are going to play. I mean, I see how it's all coming together. I don't know the finished product yet. All I know is I'm here to serve, I'm here to guide, and I'm here to be a blueprint for somebody else. And in working that blueprint, there's going to be a lot of downtime, a lot of um, unmet expectations, and so, but I can't allow that to throw me off course. So point number two, ask the questions that reveal your character. we we all know who we are. We all know what what really drives us, what tugs at our heart, what keeps us hopeful, what moves us forward, what somebody's words of disappointment or judgment will do for us. But the underlining character is one of love and support and hope and joy. And what I can hopefully help someone else to see, because it truly is in our ability to bring somebody along with us, right? Because it's a lot lonely and nobody wants to spend their whole life walking through life alone. Even if that your smaller interpersonal relationships are not that big, and you might not put yourself out there all the time, but you're involved in something. There's somebody who you talk to, who you confide in, who you watch, who you listen to. There is somebody that you get hope and encouragement from. So look at their character and look at yours and say, can I do that? Am I drawn to what they're drawn to? Because sometimes you do. Sometimes you don't always know what it is that your gift, your calling, and what drives you until you finally get it, until you finally see it, or until it's finally revealed to you. Because even in your own character, because I know I was talking to a friend And she was making mention to me that, hey, Pam, maybe you need to stop saying what you won't tolerate. And I thought, okay, I heard it. And she's right. There are certain situations where that's not necessary. That's not palatable for some, and it may make people push back. And if I want to build a platform, I really have to check, how I'm dealing with people, what I say, how I react to them. Not that I'm ever going to be rude and disrespectful, but sometimes just you being off-putting to people can can cause them to be like, maybe there's something about her, but that attitude right there is just something I can't get down with, and so I'm just gonna walk away, right? And you don't know if that was supposed to be the person that you were supposed to help, and God wanted you to influence their life. So we do have to check our character. We do have to see what is rotten inside, what life has created, what hopes have been dashed, what we didn't get when we decided to co-sign with somebody. We got a whole bunch of junk and not that treasured stuff that we hoped for. But we can't let that taint us. We can't let that make us bitter. We have to push forward and rely a lot in ourselves, understand who we are, what we're really trying to do, and respect what God says and what he doesn't say. Because sometimes he's not going to give you an answer, and that's your answer, right? Point number 3. Understand, even if you don't get what you want, you still must believe there is an answer. Because just because it doesn't show up the way you figured it would show up doesn't mean that there's no answer for it, or doesn't mean that that is a total automatic no. It could just be in the timing. It just could be in where you sit in life, and you're just not ready. You're just not you don't have enough that will sustain you when you build, when that territory enlarges. And God knows us better than we know ourselves, and that he wouldn't dare put us out there in a situation, in a place that we can't sustain. Because you know what? It's all about his name. It's all about his character. It's all about, how he loves us and what it meant for his son to die on that cross for us. It's all about those things. So hope in the one that created you, hope in the one that may not see or hear every day, but that he exists. You know that he is for you and never against you. You know that you're never alone because he walks, he guides, he speaks with you. He gives you the encouragement to be those things that just make you scared out of your mind. I don't know about you, but I get excited kind of when I'm scared out of my mind, because that means, oh my God, something great and something big is going to happen, right? So let me wrap this up. So the 3 points I want you to take away: remember to evaluate your expectations, ask the questions that reveal your character, and number 3, understand, even if you don't get what you want, you still must believe that there is an answer, right? Still got to believe, still got to hope, still got to put your trust in something or somebody. Like my mom told me one time, you got to trust somebody, you got to believe somebody, right? So remember, for each one of my lives, I do worksheets, which are on the Pew Partner Friend page, the older ones. I'm transitioning those to my website, which is www.pewpartners.wix.com/PM Mathis, right? Remember, I am on social media: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And I have 3 books, right? First one is You Are God's Love Story, Daddy, You Can Hold My Hand, and Ordinary Princess. 2 ebooks. They are on Amazon Kindle, which are Tolerance, No Thanks to Toxic Person, Place, or Situation. And the second one is 10 Considerations to Stay Focused. With less, you get more. And the books can be found on Lulu, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Amazon. Okay. Also, I want to remind you I have a class, Facebook Live at 8 p.m. coming up on Tuesday night. It is an essential oils class, and I will be talking about supplements, some of the things I use, why I use them, and how they have helped the body, right? So, I want to close out with this wonderful prayer that I have found in Romans 15, and I read it from the Message Bible. And it reads, pray for me. Pray strenuously with and for me to God the Father through the power of the Master Jesus, through the love of the Spirit, that I will be delivered from the lion's den of unbelievers. Pray also that my relief offering to the Christians will be accepted in the spirit in which it is given. God's peace be with you all. So, yes, I want to make sure that what I put out here is received in the spirit in which it is given. This is not about forcing anybody's hand. It is just about making suggestions. It's just about giving you a different thought process and an outlook. Wanted to let you guys know, love you. I want to see that you grow. And here's my ultimate goal is that we become awesome, self-encouragers and self-motivators. That is my goal for the people that I am called to influence. Hey, Tracy. So, hey guys, this is PM Mathis, your global indie author distributor. And as always, 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 I want you to what? Be blessed. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.